Okay, so now your tea stain on your paper should be dry. Okay, you can use a pencil to start drawing out your outline. I'll do a little bit on shape and proportion, but it might be helpful to look at one of the previous videos on shape and proportion if you are really struggling. Okay, so I've drawn my rough outline. Okay, I do need to double check it. I'm going to start on the eyes, the nose and the mouth, and I'll talk through a little bit the proportions of the face. So as you know, halfway on the face, on the head even, will come the eyes. So, and this girl's kind of slightly looking downwards, so they are going to be about here. So I'm going to draw just a really light line. Halfway between the eyes and the chin is going to be the bottom of the nose. So I'm going to do a little guideline, and halfway between the bottom of the nose and the bottom of the chin is going to be the middle of the mouth. So I'll do a little line there. Then I can start drawing in my features. Okay, I always tend to draw the eyes a little bit too big and I have to go back and adjust it. Okay, and you might have to do the same. It shouldn't be too bad adjusting this with a rubber. Okay, so getting that eye in. I need to make sure that I leave a little bit of a white of the eye underneath because she is sort of looking up at an angle. And you'll notice that the iris, you can't see all of it. Some of it is hidden by the eyelid. I've got the pupil at the top, and really important to get in the highlights. That will help to make it look more realistic later on. I'm going to put in the eyelid. Can't see an awful lot of it. And the eyebrow is quite low. And then sort of goes up. So I'm getting those things in. Again, I think I've drawn that eye a little bit too big. I need to make it slightly smaller. Okay, like I said. So the second one, I always have trouble doing the next one. So you should, in theory, be able to fit another eye in between. So a bit like a cyclops. So trying to get that arc of the eye. And then drawing in the iris, so the coloured part of the eye. On this eye, there's not so much white of the eye underneath. Okay, and part of it is covered by the eyelid. Getting the pupil and the little highlight, of course. Okay, eyelid. So I'm doing a line. Starts to go up there. And it's really important to look at the angles of the face. Look at the angles of the eye even, like hers sort of slant up slightly. Some people in the corners of their eye, it either goes up or it goes down. Hers tend to go up. Okay, so I need to make sure that I've done that on mine, and I haven't. Okay, so I'm going to take it up a little bit higher. So the corners of her eye tend to go up. It might be because she's looking at an angle. It might just be that's the shape of her eyes anyway. Okay, so I'm going to draw in the rest of this eyebrow. Okay, so I've got that in. Now I can move on to the nose. So her nose starts off quite narrow actually. There's sort of lots of, like quite a dark area near her eyes. I've got sort of two lines there and then I can't see anything else. So you don't draw that in. You don't draw in lines that you can't see. Okay, so with the nose, I just tend to draw the bottom of the nose and the nostrils, looking carefully at the shape of it. I'm not overly happy with that, to be honest. I'm going to rub that bit out. Don't think I've quite got the right shape. As you can see, it rubs out the tea stain. It just makes it slightly lighter, so it's not a big problem. And you can see I'm doing this really lightly with my pencil. Okay, I'm not happy with that side either. Okay, and that's fine, you know. I do this all the time, and you know, as long as you can see where it's not gone quite right, you can make adjustments, can't you? Think of things in terms of different shapes and different angles. So the edge of her nose should line up roughly with the corners of her eye. Roughly does. This side not so much so let me check on here, and it does on here, so it tells me I need to make this nose bigger. Don't think I've had so much trouble with a nose. So I need to make it a little bit wider. Yeah, and that's lining up a lot better now. Okay, now I'm going to move on to the lips. Look at the space in between. This is supposed to be the middle, roughly, of the mouth, but obviously everyone's different and it's going to vary. Okay, so I'm looking at, they call it the Cupid's bow. Looking at the shape of that, it's quite pointy actually. It's got quite a point there and slants off to the side. Now you'll notice that some people's lips will either curve that way or they'll slant down. Okay, it might be different on each side as well, so pay attention to little details like that. The middle of the mouth, pay attention to that line, like how does it go? This one kind of goes like some mountains or some hills. It's thinner on this side. And then the bottom of the mouth, it's a little curve in between, and it's quite a lot fuller. Often the bottom lip is fuller than the top lip. And then I can kind of have a look at the chin. Is there enough space? Yeah, there is reasonably. I do think I need to adjust the angle of her chin. I think it's got a bit more of a curve in it here before it goes into the chin. So I'm just going to do that bit. Can't see it so much on that side, to be honest. Okay, so I've got the basic shapes of the features. I'm actually going to draw in some of the lettering, and then I'm going to start with the biro. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit under her eye. So as part of my identity project, I've chosen this image from my mood board, you know, and this could help me later on. It might give me ideas to do some words on faces later on. It might be that I don't like those ideas, but I really like using the biro and the tea stain. Okay, so that's the reason that we're doing this task today. And again, you don't have to do this one. You might choose another experiment that you think is more suited to your image. I thought this one would look quite good because I thought the letters would look good in the biro, and obviously like her top's black and her hair's dark and her eyes are dark, so I thought it'd work quite well. Also, another thing you could do a tonal drawing over the top of the tea stain, so that's another option that you could do. Right, I'm going to make a start with the biro. So obviously with biro, you can't rub it out, okay, so it can be a bit of a problem. I'm just going to start with the lettering. I want it kind of blocked in, but I thought it would look really good, sort of quite sketchy in a way. So filling in that R. So this is, you know, one of the darkest areas on the image. So I do need to make sure that they are so, that I am blocking those in. Okay, so you could see how the lettering could continue. I'm going to do a bit more. I'm going to do the eye as well. So I'm having a look at the pupil and the eyelid. They seem to be the darkest areas. Okay, so I'm going to start with those. I'm going to make sure that I leave a little highlight. And I'm going to block in completely, okay, that pupil apart from that highlight. Really important that I leave that highlight. Okay, that's what helps to make it look realistic. I'm going to have to zoom in a little bit pixelated, this image. You might have the same problem at home too. So her eye's sort of like a hazel kind of colour, but it is quite dark around the outside. Okay, and I know that all the lines, all the little flecks of colours go towards the pupil. So I'm drawing those lines in, but I'm not applying quite so much pressure this time. Okay, I'm kind of using this biro a bit like a pencil. So I'm pressing down when I need darker tones, I'm taking the pressure off when I need lighter tones. Okay, I think I'm done with that. Then her eyelid is quite dark. It's not dark all over though, so I'm going to have to think about what technique to do. I think I'm going to do lots of kind of little circles so it doesn't look too liney. You might decide to do cross hatching, which you've done before. You might decide to do series of lines, but whatever you do, keep it consistent throughout your drawing. Okay, so I think I need to put some darker lines over the top. Okay, and I'd continue with that across. Okay. Now the eyebrow, okay, think about it in terms of an actual eyebrow, like do all the lines in the right kind of direction. Look at the image as well, so the eyebrows, these bits kind of go down, these bits go at an angle and sort of sweep across, and I'm sort of layering them up so they're starting to look a little bit more full like in the picture. Okay, other things as well, so in the whites of the eye I've got sort of like a grey kind of area. It's not completely white, so I'm going to try and add that in with my biro, just kind of really sort of lightly. I'll do a bit of the nose just in case some of you are doing identity and you're doing a portrait. So I'm just sort of outlining the nose and then working back into the nostrils where it's a little bit darker. A little bit of tone here, a bit of tone at the edge here. On the lips, again through the middle of the lip, you will have there's quite a dark line where the lips meet. And this is called weight of line, so it's actually getting thinner and lighter and a little bit darker at the edge. Okay, and if you remember, lips, the lines go in a particular direction, so lots of curves, so straight in the middle, then as they get towards the outside edges they go more curved, and then you can build up the tone from there. So straight lines in the middle, and then as you go towards the outside edge they get more and more curved. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. So if you want to have a go at tea stain and pencil, you're ready to do so, or if you want to have a go at tea stain and biro, you're ready to do so.